Hey everybody, it's Dennis. I want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about my personal learning environment. I think I'd like to start by sharing an image, actually an infographic that I created using this free tool. This is pretty nice if you haven't seen this before. It's Easel.ly, so EASEL.ly. Anyway, a free tool for creating infographics. And so this is what I came up with to describe my personal learning environment. Um, uh, I guess I should explain that I thought it was interesting. About 6 months ago or so, I came across a video, an interview with Karen Cater, who's the director of the U.S. Office of Educational Technology, and she was talking about the difference between personalized learning and a personalized learning environment. And what she was saying is that personalized learning is really the best practice of teachers looking at formative data and then adjusting instruction for individual students, which is what we would hope that all teachers do. But that a personalized learning environment then also brings in, and this is the quote that I like from her, it brings in the long tail of student interests and experiences. So their interests, their experiences, and their preferences, and you combine that with mobile devices, digital content, and your personal learning network. And all that together becomes your personalized learning environment. And so I really like that idea. So in my little infographic here, I've got mobile devices that I use, including my MacBook Air and my iPad and my iPhone. Some of the digital content that I go to, research, white papers, websites, Google, of course, and various apps. And I'll get into these more in a little bit. And then my personal learning network, which extends from my most intimate circle, being Molly, my wife. I think she and I begin each other's personal learning networks. Then extends out to the entire universe or Twitterverse. And so again, I'll talk a little bit more about those in a bit. I do like, as a lot of you do, use Chrome. So I've been using Chrome for, I guess, 2 years now, and I just think it's fantastic. It's easily my favorite browser. I just love that the experience in Chrome with this homepage is the same across any platform that I use, and in fact, I like being able to use it on mobile devices as well. So let me share a couple of things. I arranged my iPad basically the same way. This is the home of my iPad. You can see a lot of Google tools here, Facebook and Twitter, and then here's my iPhone. Again, looks very similar. So across these three devices, my browser, my iPad, and my iPhone, looking pretty similar. Within this Chrome environment here, one of my favorites has been Google Reader, and I was one of those people who's kind of vocally sad that Google Reader is going away. So I am making a switch over to Feedly, which I'm still kind of getting used to, learning my way around Feedly. I think that I'm going to like it, although I'm still sad that Google Reader is going away. As part of my ongoing learning, there are things that I read in addition to blogs that Google Reader and Feedly sort of cull for me. There are things like publications, like from the New Medium Consortium publishes their Horizon Report every year, and they have a higher ed edition. Also, the K-12 edition, since that's what I work in, is K-12, is a really important one to me. I think so. This one is one that I look forward to coming out, as well as their supplements during the year, and their current one from last year. I'm going to take just a quick peek at. I hope I'm not making you dizzy. I just want to jump down to the table of contents to show you how the Horizon Report organizes itself. Is in things that are coming up in a year or less. So the near term, Then the midterm is things that are 2 or 3 years out. And in this case, in this latest report, they talked about game-based learning and personal learning environments being 2 or 3 years out. And then things are a little further out, 4 to 5 years out from adoption in K-12 is augmented reality and natural user interfaces. Anyway, so that's the Horizon report. Another go-to reading of mine is the Keeping Pace website and their blog and their white papers. So Keeping Pace with K-12 Online and Blended Learning, kpk12.com. I really like this one because I can jump into data and information nationally. Also, you can just jump in on a specific state and see what's going on in that state lately with online and with blended learning. Also have reports and graphics there that you can download. Some really interesting stuff there. Speaking of downloading reports, graphics, and whatnot, Dropbox is a tool that I use quite frequently, as I'm sure a lot of you do. I think one of the things I love about Dropbox is then having a document available to me anywhere that I can get online. So you can see I have a folder here for BSU. That really comes in handy since we're 100% online in this program. So being able to work online is vital, and having everything in one place really helps me a lot. I also like, if you're not that familiar with Dropbox, the web tool is great, but you can also download a desktop client. And so on my computer, on my laptop, there's a folder there, and I can just drag and drop things into that folder, and it automatically syncs with the cloud, so I can get to those things from anywhere. And speaking of cloud computing, I know that you're all using Google Docs, and one of the things that I'm finding helps me tremendously is I was sort of getting stuck because I've been using Google Docs for years in my personal account, Google account. So I just have tons of documents built over the years. I was finding that as I started with Boise and that account, I occasionally was wondering, well, where is this? Where is that? And so what I started to do is make folders for each course, and so that obviously helps organization. But then what was better is that I shared that folder with my regular personal Google account, and so then everything that's in that folder I can get to from whichever Google account I'm logged into at the time, and so I can create and save things across those two accounts just by sharing those folders. Anyway, when that finally dawned on me to do that, it really helped me a lot. And so the next thing I wanted to share was Diigo. And by the way, I'd really like to know if that's pronounced Digo or Digo. I say Digo in my head. I know some of the folks say Digo. I've got no idea. This was something I'd been aware of for a while, but until this course with Dr. Snelson, I hadn't really used it, and I'm finding some real power in it, in being able to cull things myself and save them and be able to access them from anywhere. But beyond that, the real power of it is these groups, and like Dr. Snelson has us working in, and so it goes far beyond what I could think to do and to collect and annotate on my own. Having stuff here from all of you guys is extremely helpful to me. So this was a great revelation to me, and definitely now part of my personalized learning environment. Evernote's a big one that, again, it's been more recent that I've started to use this, and in fact, I've got here's a personal use of it. I'm planning a trip, a getaway for Molly and I. So we're going to spend just a few days in San Diego. And so as I started to go online and search for a hotel and search for restaurants and whatnot, I started putting them into an Evernote. So we're going to take a hike in, this is all a surprise for Molly, by the way. She knows that we're going somewhere, but she doesn't know where. So we're going to take a hike in the Torrey Pines State Natural Preserve. I found a couple of places for breakfast. We are going to go to the San Diego Zoo. And since we'll be in San Diego, we're going to drive south into Baja California and go down to Ensenada and play golf in a golf course on the beach there. It's just an hour south of the border. We're going to stay in the downtown in the Gaslamp district at Hotel Solomar, and I even found a tequila bar for us to try. So anyway, that's Evernote being a great tool, in that you can collect these things and share them with others, and of course get to them on the web or on your mobile device. Twitter is something that I think maybe like many of you, I've had a Twitter account for a few years, but have done very little with it, or not very active at all, until I started in this program. And so I've been using it more and more. Here's something from Stephen right here. And I guess Jackie Gerstein is an instructor at BSU. So there's lots of great people and groups, organizations to follow on Twitter, and I really like the use of hashtags. And if you're not familiar with that, let me put in hashtag BSU Ed Tech. So I recently discovered that this particular hashtag, though it's been around for a while, had not really been getting any use. And so just a few weeks ago, I started tweeting and adding this hashtag BSU EdTech at the end of my tweets, so that it would come up here and it would be searchable by any of us. And so Molly started using that, and I know Steven's gotten in there, and Glory created an account and has posted in here. And so I'd really like to see this become a place that's part of all of our personal learning networks. And all of us who use Twitter anyway, to use this hashtag BSU EdTech at the end of your tweet, and that way all of us can follow that and keep up with, have yet another way to keep up with thoughts and resources and things that we have to share. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that part of a personal learning network is Facebook. I tend to use Facebook more for personal stuff. Here's I follow the Daily Show, and of course the Los Angeles Dodgers, go Blue. But there's an interesting crossover, I think, with Facebook between personal and professional. And so I work for the Riverside County Office of Ed, and so of course I follow that as well, and make contributions to what's being posted there. I think that's a really good use of social media for personal and for professional networks. So I think coming back to my Chrome homepage here, it's a really great organizational tool, but I'd like to emphasize again in conclusion here that my view of the personal learning environment is actually a combination of personal learning network, mobile devices, and powerful, engaging digital content. Okay, that's it for Dennis. Right.